Good morning, 11 a.m., January 27th, 2024 on a Saturday. I'll get an audio confirmation here in just a moment when it gets around to it. It doesn't have around to it yet. There's around to it. Okay, I've got audio confirmation and unmute desktop audio so that speaker bot can be hoid. I don't have anybody in the Zoom session. Expecting Steve Dodd this morning to work on his wife's computer. Don't see him in chat, so we'll see where we go with this. I'll go ahead and say hello to people in chat. Tim Cruz, tech official. Yay, I'm here first. I like the intro. Greg Guy, second place. Alice, hello. Dennis giving us a link probably to his video, Daily Quest with Hexona from today, which I think he tells us that right here. Same day video, gameplay with Hexona. Jonathan, hello. Dennis, Ida, hello everybody. We'll be listening. We'll be in listening mode, working in the background. Gotcha. Good to see you. Jonathan ran Israel. People saying hellos to each other, left and right, all over the place. There's Mike Wojcik, Jonathan, Sin Vicious, Richard Rogers, Jonathan. People saying hello to each other, greeting each other, all warm and fuzzies. Here's Steve Dodd with us now, using his alias name that tripped me up on New Year's Eve. I got my timer going to remind me, chill out, relax, it'll be okay. Brian Lightfoot, George Armstrong. I'm hoping I'm not missing somebody as I'm glancing down these and talking at the same time. Greediness or greetiness from Seldom Ball with the Weather Report, CFWW, John Alloy, hello. Joining for the first time in a while, nice to see you from Virginia. Well, welcome back, John Alloy. Nice to have you here. Speedy C, aka Spitty. And then let's go say hello to Steve. Looks like he's getting ready. He's still working on getting things. Oh, he's got a second computer up. I see what's going on. I already see him in the upper left working on a computer. In the bottom center, got another image of him in Zoom on another machine. I'll give you time. You just go ahead and take your time, Steve, and get set up there. Back to, let's see, Jonathan telling Greg Guy, better than last week. I played with partitions on 3 desktops and 1 laptop. That is fun. Happy summer from Panama, 91 degrees Fahrenheit and partly sunny. Today we're going to be working with Steve Dodd's wife's laptop. He sent another email with more information. Let's see, do I have that one queued up? Yeah, his follow-up message I don't have queued up yet. So let me go find that. Here's Steve at the camera. Let's see, I think he's ready to talk to. Oh, I got to make some adjustments here, Steve. I'm going to unmute the Zoom microphone, so now you can mute your Zoom audio. I'm going to turn on my Zoom camera so you can see me there. And then I got to turn my Zoom audio back to same as system so I can hear you and the audience can hear you. Hello, Steve.
Hello.
Yes. All right, so I got to ask. I've known people who are named Galen that used an alternate name. Is that what's going on here? Galen, maybe a middle name?
Yes.
Or you're known in some
No,
circles?
Galen is not my middle name.
All right, but maybe you're known in some circles as Galen?
Yes.
Okay.
Or his coolness.
Wow. All right. Awesome. We need to get you now. Okay, tell me your setup. Yeah, I think you've got maybe another computer back in the background there. I saw you working on this. You're talking to us right now on your computer, I imagine.
I'm talking on my Nook.
Okay.
Which is which is on a desk looking out the window, and behind me is my wife's laptop.
Okay. All right, got it. Now, in the description of today's video, in fact, all of my videos from, I don't know, week or two ago, has a link for establishing a remote connection session. So if you could go to your wife's computer, pull up this live stream right now, go into the description of the video and click on that link, that will initiate the remote connection to your wife's computer.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
It makes sense.
Now, when you go to my channel on her computer, you can do that with youtube.com/LWTDB. That gets to my channel. And if you add a /live on the end of that, that gets to the current live stream.
I have you on YouTube on my wife's laptop.
Oh, already. Okay, just go into the description and there's a link in there. I hope I'm going to check and make sure that link is in there. Ooh, is it? You know what? I don't think it is. I'll go put it in. Nope, I've got that on the, I guess I have that on the Windows Dailies and I didn't get it. I did get it into the Saturday live streams, but the day that I did that, I wound up canceling that live stream. So that's why it's not there. So I'm just going to go into one of the prior Windows Dailies. There it is. And grab this link right there with the explanation. And then come today's live stream, edit it. Come down here. Let's put that. There's my 5-minute timer. That right in here. Save that. Now you'll have to refresh the video on your wife's laptop before that will show up in today's video. See right here. See here. I'm showing, and any of you watching can do this right now. Notice that remote session link is not here, but if I refresh this page and click on more, there it is. And that can be used by anybody to establish a remote session. Of course, if you do that without me interacting with you, I'm not going to do the clicks on my side. So it's not as if you actually force me to connect remotely to your computer. So while we're waiting for Steve to accomplish that, I'll hear, oops, I see a doorbell. I see a doorbell. All right. That's
okay, I found the link.
Yeah, so when you, that'll download the link and then you have to run that file. And you'll have a couple prompts to click on for user account control and just answer yes, allow, agree, whatever messages you get. Looking at some more chat messages. RM is here, Londog's here. The word of the day is, oh boy, insouciant. Has that got something to do with a sociopath? Insouciant. Showing a casual lack of concern, indifferent. That's what my cell phone timer is ringing at me every 5 minutes. It's telling me to just chill out. Don't be so concerned. Be indifferent. Yeah, I don't think that's what it means.
Okay, it's up and waiting for you.
Okay, so I'm going to do a click on my side, and that's going to prompt a couple more messages on your side. And then I'll click this one for restart as a system service. That'll trigger a message for you. And then I'm clicking launch remote control session. That'll prompt you again. And there we go. Do you see me moving the mouse?
I see you moving the mouse.
All right. We have control. Let's go. Let's see. I'm going to minimize that. Oh, here. Oh, this is how you have the desktop set up. I thought you arrange all those windows just to show me what you had.
I use Stardock fences.
Oh, okay.
I like it. It really groups them all together nicely.
All right. All right. Yeah, let's see. I've got that. Now let's go full screen over here. Make that bigger. Okay. And then check and see what happens when I turn off my picture-in-picture. So we don't have Zoom running on your wife's computer, so that eliminates that piece. Okay, so since you have this star dock, this is all different for me. So this looks like your start button. Yeah. Switch user, and up here it shows that we're signed in as you, not as your wife.
Correct.
If we sign in with your wife's account, then we're going to see the temporary profile, and you would have to connect again to the, let's see, can we, if we restart and sign in with a different account, yeah, it would lose. I would lose the remote connection. We'd have to reestablish, except that what we could do, and I'm thinking that we won't, is we could switch user so that your account is still signed in. Oh, is this it? Did I just switch?
That's the
this desktop. Is the lock. This is the lock screen.
That's the lock screen.
Okay.
And Carla is right below it.
Okay. So if we sign in with her, now you know you're pretty comfortable getting back to the YouTube stream for today and restarting the remote session, right?
Yes.
Because an alternative that we could do is we could store a text file on the root of the C drive with that link. But it'll take us a little while to do that. And I think you're comfortable enough with reestablishing the remote session. We won't worry about that. So I want to see if we can get signed in with Carla's account. And I'll take that off screen while you put in the password, even though the password doesn't show. Bring chat back up. And then back to Carla's user account signing in. So far, we still have a remote connection. Now, I need to be careful about restarting your computer, keeping in mind that your account is still logged in, because we would need to clean that out first. All right, so there. Getting started with Vince, I'll just dismiss that. Okay, so at this point, let's go get into our documentation. And just before doing that, I'm going to take a little more look at chat. Try to say hello to more people without reading a whole lot. Jonathan, Chris, Lawn Dog Zvi's here. Good. Chris, not feeling good. Sorry about that. Hope you feel better soon. Here's my speaker bot messages came in, so I'm going to go disable them so they don't keep coming every 15 minutes. Okay, that's done. That's still speaker bot. People saying hellos to each other. Alan Spain's here. Hello, good to see you. Dennis did not need to refresh to see the new link. He simply waited. All right, thank you for that. Brian Lightfoot, Ellen Spain. Looks like Tardius Camo Circuit is working overtime. Yeah, I don't know what that is. Tardius. Is that meaning people being late? I don't know. John O'Loy, Brian Lightfoot, Babylon character and Tardius. Now I'm confused. Yeah, I'm not going to try to figure that out. Don't bother explaining it to me. Then let's go over here. Here's these instructions. This was from a link that Zvi came up with yesterday during, I think it was yesterday during the live stream. For fixing, we can't sign into your account. Now, I did put a little comment, a little snark in here. Exploring TenForums method for fixing temp user profile. Hint, I don't like it at this point. Well, that was true at the time that I typed that. I've warmed up a little bit to it, but I still have to take a little bit of exception to it. But still, it looks very good and helpful. I'm not going to read through all of this. I'm not going to read it out to you. I want to get down particularly to one point down here. One of the instructions they give is restart the computer 4 times when you encounter this problem, each time letting your PC get to the desktop before the next restart. This will often fix this issue a lot of the time. If not, then continue on to step 2. I'm going to assume at this point that you've restarted this computer many times since you discovered the symptom. Is that true?
That is correct.
All right. And I think there's the scenarios where that might work is probably that opportunity is gone. Although we might wind up resetting your computer back to a point where that could be applicable and usable. Okay, I'm scanning over this a little bit to keep it in my mind. We can't sign in your account. Signing out, signing back in. No, we're not going to be doing that. That's been done. You've been signed in with a temporary profile. Now, Steve reports that he did not see these messages. Is it possible that your wife had signed into the computer at one point in time and these messages appear and nobody noticed them at the time?
No, it was always signed on with her when Windows Update came along and did the update. I just got the icon at the bottom that said it needs to be restarted.
Okay, while it was signed in as her.
So I clicked the button to restart it.
Yeah.
And then I went to sign into her with no messages, just the login screen popped up with her, for me to enter her PIN.
Okay.
And when I did it, Windows came up with a banner on the screen that says preparing Windows.
Okay.
And that's all. And then after it did it, what you see in the desktop is what I got.
Okay. And you never saw the thing about signing with a temporary account. All right.
And never saw one signing with a temporary account. Correct.
Okay. So we're just going to go ahead and proceed with the instructions. It's not important that message had ever been seen or not. I have seen it in some cases, but let's just go ahead and move forward and see what we have to work with. In this tutorial, we'll show you how to fix we can't sign into your account, even though he's never seen that. But this is, let's see, you had identified or realized that this is a temporary account. How did you come to realize that?
When I went into when I went into the user's profile.
Okay, into the user's folder.
And that I saw a folder called temp.
All right. So we'll come down here, expand the C drive, expand users, and then here's temp. All right. And then Carla is her normal profile. Okay. And at this point, we're not really identifying whether we're logged in right now with the temp profile or the Carla profile. There are some techniques that I've used in the past to figure that out just from here, but since we're going into following these instructions anyway, we'll do it that way because I like this method a lot that they have in here in these instructions. So that's coming up pretty soon, I think. How to read event log details. I'm interested to go look at this. All right, yeah, let's go ahead and do that now. In event viewer, so I'll do just Windows key, event viewer, and they tell us to use find for event 1511. Rather than find, I'm going to use filter, and that is in the application panel. Filter current log on the right hand side, waiting for it to respond. And then click down here in the filter field for 1511. We've got the most recent one was 2 days ago, 9:04 a.m. Prior to that was January 24th. And then prior to that was January 12th. When did you first discover this issue?
The 23rd, after the system rebooted.
Okay, so the 20th
from the update.
Okay. So there was already something present. Now the 12th, let's go bring up your calendar. Do I get a calendar with your Stardock thing when I click on that?
When this comes up, I can't get to the calendar. I can't look at the notifications. Okay. I can't modify the taskbar or anything.
Okay, so that when you're in that temp file. Okay, so I'm just bringing up the calendar on my screen. So this January 12th was after the second Tuesday. So that was after Update Tuesday for this month. And you did a restart on the 23rd, you said?
On the 24th.
On the 24th. Okay, yeah. So that was substantially after Update Tuesday. Do you think that was the restart for Update Tuesday? Or do you think that was a subsequent update? Because updates do come more often than once a month.
I think that was a subsequent update.
Okay. Then come back to your computer. Let's look at each of these. Now this is a little bit of a side tour we're taking here, but this oldest one, Windows cannot find the local profile, which is logging you on with the temporary file. Changes you make to this profile will be lost when you log off. So that's looking like you were having a temporary profile back then. Then here, this is the same thing. And then on the 24th, Windows cannot find the local profile is logging you in with a temporary profile. Temporary profile and temporary profile. So those are all the same. Is it possible that this problem has existed that long and you just had not noticed it?
It is quite possible.
All right. All right. And that would certainly affect anything that we use for going back to a backup. I haven't heard anyone test SpeakerBot yet. Is that working? So you guys can interrupt me with something pertinent to what we're dealing with. Please keep it on topic for now. Except for a test. If somebody could go ahead and do a test, I'd appreciate that. All right, so let's just minimize that for now and then come back to our instructions. That was Event Viewer. I'm glad we took that little detour. So
but today is 27 and there is no event 1511. Hello, Doug?
Yeah, okay, thank you for the test. And Zavi points out today is the 27th. There is no 1511. And I think that's because when logging in as Carla, it just automatically logged into this temporary profile. I think when it reverts to that temporary profile, that just keeps coming up over and over without a fresh message each time. That's what I'm suspecting. Not totally certain about it. Let's get on to find out what the registry tells us about this. And one of the things I'm concerned about, particularly Zvi, watch out for me here if I skip over something in this text, because trying to read it, understand it, do a show at the same time, the remote connection, sometimes that my mind skips over something. Back up the contents. Okay, and you told us you have image backups. Let's talk about that a little bit. Is that drive attached right now? Your backup drive?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Yes, it is.
Then let's just go have a look at the dates of those backups.
It's the H drive, Asus back BKP.
All right.
Reflect.
I'll just sort by the date column. Make this column wider. Can you make that column wider right there? That doesn't work very well for me remotely. Yeah, okay. Full backup with bad Carla profile. Bad Carla, bad Carla. And we're seeing...
That was done yesterday.
Okay.
And I'm in Michigan, so that's the Eastern time zone.
Okay, all right. Full backup with bad Carla profile. These are disk images. Are these, this one here is much larger. Are these all?
My backup profile does, I did a full image, but it's also set up to do an incremental. So the small one is probably an incremental.
Oh yes, this is 0101. That's indicating that's an incremental. All right. Yeah, the 00, that's telling us it's a full backup. So we can see that you are using, like there's a full backup, and then there's, let's see, it's a date code, and then 23.01126. Not quite making out what that is. MR back, MR image. Okay.
I have two backups. One to do an image backup, and the MBAK I think is a file and folder backup, because all I wanted to do was just back up the user's folder.
That's what
completely.
It is. Yeah, that's what you've got. So anyway, we see that you've got lots of backups there. Okay, that answers that question. Now, moving back and displaying the instructions. We can't sign into your account. Here's what the actual images should look like in Windows. And it's interesting here when TenForums did this, we can tell that they manufactured this. This wasn't actually a computer that had the problem. We know that because it's on an evaluation copy of Windows, probably in a virtual machine, that they just came up with a way to force that warning to be displayed. So restart the computer 4 times, often fix. While sending the account with the temporary profile, open the command prompt and then enter this command. So that's what we want to get to here. Who am I? And then space / user. I need to get me a piece of old school paper. Make this bigger. Properties. And then font tab. This way viewers can actually see it, and I can see it better.
Hey, Doug, last night I did that.
Yeah.
I followed some of those directions, and I had that in a text file on the C drive.
Oh, cool. That number? Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay. On the root of the C drive?
On the root.
If it is a temp profile, and if you save something on desktop, after restart, and if is a temp profile, the file is gone. That's what I remember.
Can we go into File Explorer and make it easier?
Yeah, I'll just exit from here. Yes, Zavi, I agree with you. If you save something on the desktop, it would be gone after your restart. But we could save something on the root of the C drive, and that should not be gone. That should still be present. The desktop is part of the user profile, and it's stored under the folder structure of users in the profile. Okay, so you wanted File Explorer and then guide me to it. Okay, then the C drive. Well, go ahead. You got the mouse. All right, you put it into a subfolder of the root of the C drive. So this won't disappear when we restart the computer.
Wait a minute. Where did it go? Backups.
Yeah, there it is. Carlos Sid. Okay. All right, going back to the instructions. Make a note of the SID, which we've done. If this account is a standard user, then you will need to sign out, sign into administrator. This is probably an administrator account for Carla, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
All right.
Now, I don't know if the temp one made it administrator or not.
Right. We'll find out here. If you do not... Now, actually, the only reason why we needed to come into this temp profile is to get the SID. And I would have wanted to do this even if you had already explained that you had that, because I want to show that process on this video.
Okay. All
Okay.
right.
So if you do not have an administrator account, we don't need to deal with that. And then, so I think what I'd like to do is go ahead back to your profile and we'll do the registry stuff there. So we're going to close this down and we know where that is at. It's in C0. Okay, got that. And then click on your Windows button and go to, let's see, does that have a sign out there? No, we do the sign out here on, no, I don't want to shut down.
You don't want to do a shutdown.
No, I don't. I'm going to click on that arrow, right?
Yeah.
To get sign out. Yeah, so we're signing out with this user. We don't want to switch user, because if we did switch user, this profile would still be logged in. So we want to sign out. Now when we come to a list of users, we can't tell from here that you're already signed in. It looks and feels like we're signing in again. I've taken that off screen. You can go ahead and put in your PIN. And if somebody sees something in chat that was not done with SpeakerBot that you think I should be aware of, then do a SpeakerBot to direct my attention to it. Please. All right. Then I'll use Windows key R, regedit. And you've got regedit there already, which means you've been there recently.
Yeah.
All right. And here we do have a BAK. And Carla's was the one that ends with 1002. So this, now I'm starting to go to the next step from memory, but I'll go back to the instructions. Regedit, if prompted by UAC, we were not prompted with user account control. I think that might mean that you have your user account control settings lowered. Navigate to,
I do.
Okay. Navigate to the profile list key at the location below in the left pane of the registry editor, which I think you're already there. Look up at the address bar on top and see that it's local machine software, Microsoft, Windows, NT. Oh, you're in current version. That's not where we want to be. Wait a minute. Oh, yeah, it is. Current version, profile list. Okay. Yeah, that is what they showed. Why did I not see that when I looked back? I don't know. Then on the instructions, in the left pane under expanded profile list, look to see the SID from step number 4 listed above. Is it there with the .BAK and or without the .BAK? And we have it in both forms, with the BAK and without the BAK. Step number 10, do step 11 only SID without BAK. That's not our situation. So they do not want us to do step 11. Do step 12, am I reading this right? Only SID with back. Or step 13, SID without and with back. So this is what we want as step 13, because we have the SID both with and without the .BAK. So we're going to skip 11 skip 12, do not collect $200, and go to step 13. Right click or press hold on the SID without the BAK and tap delete. So they just want us to go boom, delete it. I want to think about that a little bit first. I'd like to check and see how it's configured. If we go ahead and delete the BAK, do we have evidence at this point that we were signed in with the BAK if we don't look at it first? No, we don't.
I would export it first.
Yeah, I like that.
Go ahead, Doug.
First. And let's go look at how these are configured first. So this .BAK is showing profile image path is users Carla, and the one without the .BAK is showing users temp. All right, that's interesting. I wasn't quite expecting that. So the BAK is her original profile, the one that we want to get back to. This one, which we actually is the one that we signed in with, I believe, is the temp profile, and it's the one that is missing some content for her. Is that right? Is it missing some content for her?
Yes.
Yeah. So if we delete this, okay, no, I get it. If we delete this registry, we're just deleting the BAK, and then we're going to change this registry entry to be the user's Carla, which is what has her content. Okay, I see where they're going with that. Now, let's go ahead and do as suggested, and we'll back up. We could back up these individual, yeah, let's go that way. I was contemplating we could back up the whole profile list, but let's back these up individually. So we can do that either with right-clicking on that Hive key and choose export, or we can go to the file menu and choose export and make sure this checkbox is present for the selected branch. And I'll even go out and see that it is the 1002.
Do not export entire profile. List.it includes system profiles.
Do not include. Yeah, it includes system profiles, but you can pick out what you want to import later if you wanted to. And that's where sometimes I have exported at a higher level because I know I can go edit. You can edit the exported file and delete the content that you don't want to bring back in. If you're interested in a whole lot of sub branches and not sure what you might wind up wanting, rather than exporting a whole bunch of them, that's when I've used a higher level branch. Oh, you've got some registry backups in this profile list. Oh, you've already done this. Is that what I'm seeing, Steve?
Yeah, I was going through there, and I thought it'd be a good idea if I backed up the registry entries.
Okay, good. That's fine. But I'm going to go ahead and do it anyway.
That's fine.
I have a routine of doing reg hyphen and then name the key that I'm doing. So profile list, and I'll say hyphen NNN 1001. That's what that gives me enough of a clue of what this
You're
key
backing
is.
up 1002.
Oh, 2.
According to the branch at the bottom.
Oh, I looked. Thank you. You guys got to watch me, because what I did, the reason why I typed in 1 is I looked over at my other screen here, which has the instructions for how to do this. And there showed 1001. Thank you, Steve. Good catch. Bless you. Okay, so that's the 1002 without the .BAK. Come down, do the same thing here. This time I'll use a right click and export. And then I'll just click on my prior name and edit that. I'll put a -BAK. I don't like putting extra periods into a file name because I don't want that to get confused as an extension. All right, that is the BAK. All right. Displaying the instructions again. They want us to delete it. It's a registry entry. We can bring it back if we want to. And then they're going to have us rename the SID key with the back. Oh, wait a minute. Let me. Okay, I was about to go wrong on this because I'm not looking close enough, am I? Right click and press and hold the SID key without the back. That's the one they want us to delete. And then we're going to rename the one that has the BAK. Okay. Get the right mouse, the one without the BAK. Okay, that's the one I'm about to delete. And I'm going to hesitate just long enough for somebody to say, wait, you're doing that wrong. You agree with me, Steve, right? What I just
I
read?
agree.
All right, here we go. Okay, then they want us to rename this one to remove the .BAK. Come back at the instructions. I feel like I could go through and do this by memory, but I don't trust myself enough while I'm doing a live stream. Like having you guys watch me. Keep me honest. Okay, so we deleted that one. Click yes to confirm. We did that. And then rename this one to take out the BAK. In the right pane now without the BAK at the end, double click on the profile image path name to modify it. Enter the correct path. Well, I think it's already correct, isn't it? Yeah, profile image path already has the correct name. Yes. You can see the name of the user's profile and the users. Let's see. Yeah, we already saw that. So we'll go ahead and display that. Yeah, there it is. And it has content. I'm curious about something. Right click on Carla, properties. Drag that over to the side a bit. Right click on temp, properties. And then Alt Tab to bring that other properties window back up. Curious to see the size difference between these. Yeah, we can already see the temp is only 397 megabytes and the actual Carla folder is, looks like it may have stopped at 48.9 gigabytes. In the right pane of the SID key, verify the state D word has a value of 0, then go to step 14. Your state has a value of 8,000. All right, well, that's interesting. I was curious about this yesterday, and I looked at my own user profiles on Big Beast, and I had two of them with the state of 4 and my active profile with a state of 0. Then I signed into one of the other profiles, which has never been signed into, and that caused it to change the state to 0. And so I deduced that a state of 4 is somehow indicates a profile that's never been logged into, because it actually created the whole profile once I logged into it. But now here we have a value data of 8,000. I'm kind of hoping that somebody's Googling, particularly Zvi and Rand might be researching that to find out, what does a state of 8,000 mean? Yeah, Rand, I would not worry about the size of that profile. That would, if she's got a lot of pictures in there, I could make it big. And I've seen profiles much larger.
She stores almost all of her stuff on OneDrive, and I think OneDrive is a folder within that.
That's right. That's right. OneDrive is within the profiles. So that may be a big part of it. All right. Let's see. Moving on. State with value of 0. If it's not set to 0, double click and modify it. Change the value to 0. Well, now this is a registry entry. We're not changing any of her data content. We have backups. So yeah, okay, I'm not going to be too worried at this point about coming up with the 8,000. Rand says that explains it. User profile state value. Let's see, what was looking at chat through OBS here, just recent comments. That explains it. Is there anything else there? No. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and change that to state of 0. Back to the instructions. Close registry editor, restart the computer, sign into the account that got the temporary profile, see if it's fixed. Do you have a cell phone available so that we can watch the restart process?
I do.
Ah, okay. Well,
8,000 equals sign temp profile.
And Rand says 8,000 equals temp profile. So I guess there's nothing else special. Okay, the 8,000's telling Windows that that is a temp profile. Okay, that's clean enough. I have a few ways to bring your cell phone image up on screen. What I'm going to do is do that through my remote software. We have a thing called Rescue Lens. Steve, can you send me an email with the cell phone number to send a link to?
Sure.
Get to here. Okay, so I'm doing a new session in my remote software, and it'll be an SMS message.
My user profile stat is 0.
Cell. And I'm not going to display the phone number. I just shown the audience where I go to do that. So then I'll put in his phone number here and send an SMS, and I'll give him a text message. When he clicks on the link in that text message, it'll provide me a remote connection to his cell phone camera, not a remote connection to his cell phone, although I can remotely connect using this software to a cell phone to go through the cell phone to provide support. But here what we're doing is rescue lands, where I've selected that up here. And that's how we get to the camera.
Just sent you an email, Doug.
Yep, I
with
got
the
it.
Subject line test.
Yep, it popped up as a notification on my cell phone. Okay, text message sent to you. Oh, wait a minute. Message can't be sent. Please check the number format. Oh, they want me to put a 1 at the beginning. All right, that is sent, and it should get you to a prompt that asks for a PIN code. When you're ready for that, I'll read it out to you. That's a one-time use code, so it doesn't matter that I read that out over the live stream. So we changed the state. We're going to close the registry editor and restart the computer. I had also asked you to have a tripod for your phone if that's available. Were you able to do that?
No, I don't have a tripod.
All right, you'll just need to hold it steady then. If the account's profile is still not fixed, then repeat the tutorial again, making sure that profile image path value has the correct path for the account's profile. If the profile just cannot be fixed, then you can use option 2 here to create a new profile for the account and copy over the files you want from the old profile folder to the new one afterwards.
Okay, it's asking for a 6-digit PIN.
Okay, that's 951554. Yeah, Zavi, my user profile's state is also 0. I think apparently that's the normal state that a profile should be. Okay, now I'm displaying my remote screen since there's no more cell phone number showing there, and then I'll right click on this to start that connection. And that just gives me a menu with start. I'm taking it off screen every time I click another button because I'm not totally certain what comes up next. Stream starting. So there, we have a cell phone image. Can you hold the cell phone sideways? There we go. Okay, now you just aim at the screen and I'll be doing the keystrokes.
Okay.
Oh, I've got to mute the audio on my baby beast because your voice came over on its speakers through the remote connection. Now here I'm showing that to the audience. Whoops, screen just went black. Why?
That's because my phone went to sleep.
Oh, that's interesting.
Come on.
All right, you need to, are you familiar with how to turn off the sleep? Is that an iPhone?
No, it's a Samsung.
All right. You would have to, I think, keep a finger on it in order to keep it awake unless you go turn off the sleep.
I just have to stop keeping my big fingers from off the buttons.
All right.
Can you see my screen now?
Yes, we can. And we don't need to see it closer there because I can switch to the remote connection to the laptop to show the audience the screen. So you can relax a little bit while I'm closing down the registry. So state, we got 0. We close the registry. I've got the correct mouse. I've got to go to the right X button. I almost X to close the remote connection. and then go to restart the computer. I'll make sure I'm on. Nope, I was about to restart Baby Beast. All right, because that's the Windows button. Now here we have switch user, but we did log out of the temp user account. So here we'll just restart, and then I'm going to switch to your cell phone right quick. I'm just checking my keystrokes for that. Let's see. Okay, I know what I'm going to have to do there. Back to here, bring that up on screen, and restart. Restarting. Closing one app. We'll wait and see if that works. Okay, that worked. And now we're showing your cell phone. It's still, okay, there it. It's going through the reboot. Now, since my remote connection was to Steve's profile, I don't expect that the remote connection is going to survive this restart.
Well, that's strange. I'm getting stuff on my other monitor.
Is that monitor connected to the laptop?
Yeah.
Can't you install it as a service so that it can be used across profiles?
Yes, Ran Israel, I can do that when I actually install the unintended remote as a service. But we haven't done that at this point.
I've had this happen before, and I had to push the power button and let it recycle.
Yeah, I've seen that too. I've seen instances of doing a restart, particularly when under this type of scenario with a temp profile, and that's just sounding familiar. Go ahead and press the power. Ran Israel said, do not adjust your sets. We control the verticals. We control the horizontals.
The outer limits.
There we've got. Okay, was this normal that the lock screen would come up on the external? Okay, that's fine. Go ahead. Go ahead and attempt to sign into Carla's profile. And as soon as you click to go past the password, get your camera on it and get your phone on it. Yeah. That's interesting. We've got the chat window for log me in, but are we signed in? Is that your profile, Steve?
No, that's hers.
That's hers? I'm surprised.
That's her original one.
That's her original one. I'm very surprised to see it come up with the chat window for
Yes, we did
Log Me
it.
In Rescue. And Zavia's saying, yes, we did it. It looks like we might have succeeded. Is anything on this channel ever that easy? No.
Nope.
Why don't you go ahead and get the remote connection set up again? So go to the YouTube channel and launch the link, and we'll explore a little bit.
Can I set my phone down?
Yeah, you can set your phone down and relax, and I'll go.
Try logging off and logging on again to make sure.
Oh, that's a good idea. Rand Israel is suggesting logging off and logging. Well, let's do that with remote connection, because let's see, how can we survive that? Yeah, we'll do that after we reestablish the remote connection. Bringing chat back up on screen. Lawn Dog asking, is this a mechanical hard drive?
No, it's an SSD.
Okay. Ran Israel says, mine's 100 because I've disabled USC. Ran, are you saying your user profile state is 100? And you're saying that that's because you've disabled UAC? I'd like you to confirm that or clarify, Ran. That's interesting.
Yes.
Yes, okay. Oh, hey, hold on. I have connection.
Okay.
What? How did
you have connection?
Yeah, I'm connected. I'm moving their mouse.
Yeah, you are moving my mouse.
How in the world did that survive? We started the remote connection on. Oh, we started the remote connection on Carla's temp profile, didn't we?
Are you sure this is Carla's profile?
Yeah, let's go find.
We were.
Was that on your profile or hers?
It was on mine, but she was also signed on at the same time, but she was disconnected.
All right, let's use the who am I. we'll find out what profile that we are signed in as. Oh, you have a DOS prompt pinned to your taskbar. Who am I? /user, if I remember right. 1002. That's Carla. Sure enough, it gives us Carla's name as well. I want to be a little cautious about asking you to browse around to verify her content is present, because I don't want to expose anything that's personal or private. Should I take you off screen while you explore that?
Yeah, that's okay.
Yeah, all right, I'll take you off screen. You go ahead and just go into the pictures folder, OneDrive folder, and be sure it just looks like content is there. One of the reasons why I'm surprised that this worked and why I was a little skeptical about these instructions is it seems like Windows self-repair functions should have been able to apply this fix.
In and delete temp folder from users.
In and delete temp folder. Oh, and I think he's, yeah, saying that we want to delete that temp folder. Is that part of the instructions? Seems like it ought to have been.
Okay. All of her pictures are there. Her documents are there. I can get to her OneDrive with that. In fact, OneDrive is processing changes. It's comparing what's on the cloud with what is in her profile.
All right. Good. Happy day. Let's make that full screen and go take a look at that temp folder. $396 megabytes. That sounds like what we saw previously.
Yeah, I thought it was like 396, 397.
Yeah. And this, yeah, OneDrive folder is empty. I took that off screen before I actually clicked into it. And this default user 100,000, was that there previously?
I couldn't tell you. I never noticed it there.
Huh. Well, if it was there, it should show up on the video earlier because we displayed this users folder earlier. All right, so then right click on temp and delete it. Selden asking, is there anything in the logs which indicate what caused the profile glitch? That, my impression was when we went looking for that particular error in the logs, 1511 was supposed to show us that if it was going to tell us anything. Let's see this, looking at this instruction closer. Expand Windows Logs application, right click, hold on application, tap on find event ID. Close the find dialog, view the details, repeat to view any other details. What I'm inclined to do is go look around the area where that first 1511 appeared or the more recent one and see if there's something around that event that gives us a clue how or why this happened. I would not place a bet on whether this is going to be productive. But it's certainly interesting. Let's do Windows key.
I have default user 100000 on my Windows 11 install.
Costanza, I have a default 100,000 user 100,000 on his Windows 11 install. Okay, interesting. So Costanza also has that weird number. It was in the application log and it was 1511. So this time I'll use find, which is just going to take me to an instance of 1511. Cannot find a local profile. Now where, oh, here it is. In this list, I'll drag this window down a bit so that we can see more. 1511 is given as an error. User profile service. We have some informations around these two exclamation marks. The when log on notification subscriber profiles is taking a long time to handle the notification event. When the log on notification took 89 seconds to handle the notification event. These are, we're seeing these, the newer ones are at the top. So this one hit first, and then these two warnings. Now, if we come back down here, that's what, 45 minutes earlier, certificate services client. So I don't think that's related at all. Operation completed successfully. When logon notification subscriber was unavailable to handle a critical notification event. Yeah.
Can you filter the log to include only entries from the user profile Serivzi source?
Can filter the log to include only entries from the user profile service source. We can filter the log to be any event ID. We can use multiple different event IDs. And this filtering by 1511 is what I did earlier. And then once we get to one of these others, since we know where that one is, we can then turn off the filter and look at the things around this oldest one. And okay. So that's January 12th. Making a note, 24 at 10:51:35.
You can choose source in that window above.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Let's go back to the filter. Event sources. Okay. And what we want here is user profile service. All right, I'm going to try pressing a U. Yeah, that gets me down to the U's. User account profile service, is that how you worded it? User profile service. Ah, there it is.
Three lines below.
User profile service. 3 lines below? Isn't that the one you're asking for? You're saying 3 lines below that? Or is that the one that you're asking for, Ran? Waiting for a response from Ran. Yeah, you found it already. Okay, good. And okay that. Yeah, we get nothing else. Oh, did I still have the 1511? Got to take out the 1511. Yeah. There we go. The oldest one was January 12th. Yeah, so that's the first time we see an exclamation mark, it looks like. We could have also asked only for errors. Windows was unable to load the registry. The problem is often caused by insufficient memory or insufficient security rights. The process cannot access the file because it's being used by another process for Carla NT user DAT. That's what happened the first time that hit, and that was 1508. Windows was unable to load NT user DAT. Windows cannot load the locally stored profile. Possible causes: insufficient security rights or corrupt local profile. The process cannot access the file because it's being used by another process. See, there's no scroll bar in here. See if there's a scroll bar to see more in this details window. No. Okay, the next.
It sounds like problems caused by switching users instead of really logging out.
Okay, since Steve didn't hear that, if you're not listening to YouTube, that comment from Ran Israel, Steve, it sounds like problems caused by switching users instead of really logging out. Now, you said that this is primarily Carla's computer. Do you sometimes log in as you without logging out of her account?
Yes, I do.
Okay, so is it possible while being logged in as you that the computer was shut down without exiting from her, closing her account?
It's possible. I try not to do that. I try to
Yeah.
make sure that there's only one user up and running before I do a shutdown or a restart.
If you try to shut down from your account while she's still logged in, you'll get a message saying someone else is logged in, and you have to respond to that before it'll shut down. If the computer locked up on you and you had to force power off by holding down the power button, that would be a way that there was no logging out from her account. So anyway, Rand's just speculating that sounds like a possibility.
I mean, it's possible. It's been so long, I can't remember exactly what happened.
We're looking at January 12th here. Windows cannot find the local profiles logging you on with a temporary profile. Changes you make will be lost when you log off. Now, that's true to changes that you make within the user profile. You can store data in some other folder on the C drive that's not part of the user profile, and that should stick. User profile services started successfully, so that was a few minutes later. Then here, Windows cannot find the local profiles logging you on with a temporary profile. So that might have been, maybe that was another attempt to log on. But this is all back on January 12th, and you're not aware of any trouble back then, right?
No.
Okay. And this is telling us that it was Carla's profile that was involved. I think it told us here somewhere. Yeah, this one was Carla. So is it possible that she experienced a situation and kind of retried and then it started working and she didn't report that to you because it's fixed, it's working?
It's possible.
Certainly not suggested that you ask her before about it.
No. I don't think she'd remember anyway.
Yeah, no biggie. We're just speculating. All right, so that's just more of the same because that's all within the same few seconds, I think.
Now, all this on the 24th here, that was after or right around the time that it wanted me to restart after a Windows update occurred.
All right. Now we should also be able to look in the logs and find when that update was applied. We'd be able to identify whether it was before or after this time if you don't recollect. But again, why? We're just being curious technicians to track that down.
No, that's fine. I'd kind of like to know myself.
Oh, all right. Well, it's kind of, we all like to blame things on Windows Update, don't we?
The only reason I said that was the last thing occurred at the time that it had to be rebooted.
All right. Yeah, these all look like the same. On the 24th, it looks like the same sequence of messages that we had on the 12th. And here's the 27th, which is today. User profile service stopped. Started. This was probably just during our session here because you have current time of 3:19. Yeah, so that was during our live stream. Okay, so then Windows Update. I don't know any event ID. Let's see. How about...
We may be able to fix the system. No reason to look for why this happened.
Yeah. Agree with Zvi saying we may be able to fix the system. No reason to look for why it happened. It's just curiosity. Go back to filter log. Is one of the event sources is probably Windows updates, isn't it? There, Windows Update Client.
Curiosity that killed the cat.
Yeah, curiosity kills a cat. What effect does it have on technicians? Okay. Yeah, so we have stuff on the 24th. I didn't write down the times that were involved, but 3:43, that sounds around the time that those profile messages were coming. Windows cannot find their local profile and is like, oh, do I have both of these? Yeah. Oh, source user. Oh, I have both. I'm filtered for both. So can I sort by this column? Yeah, I can sort by looks like I can sort by the source column. Although there's no arrow at the top. Is there? Oh, there is an arrow at the top. Okay, so this is all user profile. I did not get any Windows Update messages. It shows user profile service and Windows Update. So event sources, all event IDs. So there's no Windows Update client message in the application, because we're in the application event log. I can't switch to a different event log from here. So I'm going to Control A and then Control C to copy those event sources. Then I think Windows Update is going to be in the system log, filter current log, event sources, Control V, paste, and OK. Oh, that gave us a whole bunch of sources. That didn't filter down to just the ones I was asking for. Now this Windows didn't stick. Yeah, didn't stick. So let's go W for Windows and page down to get to Windows Update Client. That's more better. An installation, Windows Update installation failure today, early morning, 3:37 in the morning. So let's go look at your Windows updates. And then I'll go to that January 12th and a time, since that's the only time I put in a date and time. 10:51. We have some installation successful messages. So no failure messages there. There's an error message on the 10th, installation failure. Now, I didn't make note of those KB numbers that actually failed.
Well, this one here that you're looking at is that 3441, 3441.
Okay. Yeah.
That is the one where Microsoft wants to go out to we discussed this earlier on your shows, the recovery partition isn't big enough for it to complete.
Yes, that's right. That's what it was. And there was 4441 was for
Windows 10.
Windows 10, and 4440 was for Windows 11.
Correct.
Okay.
Hi, Doug.
Hello, Josh. Oh, Josh is in Zoom. Sorry I didn't say hello to you
Josh.
earlier.
It's funny.
I
you
saw also a
mentioned,
temp folder on the root directory.
Windows 11 had that update because my computer got that Windows 11 update that Windows 10 having problems with, and it installed fine on my Windows 11 computer. But when I went to do it on Windows 10, when I got the bug fixing update, the bug fixing updates were applied. But when I went to put in the update for the update that's been failing, it will not go in at all. Like it downloaded it, but it will not install it.
All right. Well, that's sounding like your that partition is not large enough. We're expecting that Microsoft is going to fix that. I'm not concerned about you getting that update right away because that is to patch a vulnerability regarding encryption. You don't use encryption anyway, and in order for a evildoer to utilize that vulnerability, they have to have physical access to your computer. So I don't think you're a target for that. All right, so I don't see any failed updates in your update history, and let's bring Zoom back up, and Gary Weisenberger's here. Hello, Gary.
Hello.
Did you have any comments on the work so far, or just come to hang out?
Actually, a couple of quick comments. I wanted you to check on this because two things. I have seen this, knock on wood, I've never seen on Windows 11. You know me.
Little plug there.
Yeah. And I can almost guarantee you there won't be a Windows 12 this year.
Won't be a Windows 12 this year. Okay, you feel safe in making that prognostication. I will throw in with you on that.
He's waiting for Windows 13.
I didn't say that either.
No. He's just saying there's not going to be a new version this year. I totally agree with that.
I said Windows 12.
You didn't say a new version. You said that it won't be Windows 12 this year. Yeah, I will easily throw in with you on that.
Anyway, I don't think the update went through still on his computer, number one, or Carla's. And number two, I have seen that error. The error you keep looking at is 1511, which just means it created a temp profile. That doesn't tell you why the profile is probably corrupted. 90
Correct.
times out of 100 that I have seen it create a temp profile, somewhere in there is some kind of Trojan, some virus, whatever today's word is. There's a corrupt program in her directory.
Well, that's one of the reasons why I was a little uneasy about this fix, as it was treating a symptom rather than fixing the cause. I am concerned that there is some other root, that there may be some other root cause.
I'm sure that's going to be a corrupt profile, and she's going to have problems before it's over.
Yeah, but now since Steve is doing a really good job with image backups daily, I feel like we're probably going to have good resources to try to fix it down the road if something else crops up. But there's also been troubles that have come up at various points in time that maybe with an update or a device or a conflict somewhere that eventually gets fixed by the powers that be out there, whether it's Microsoft or some other source, and the problem never crops up again, and it's fixed without us fixing it. So it's possible there may never be any more trouble with it. But Steve's on high alert now
Mhm.
to watch his computer. Now, if it gets a temp profile created again, that's going to become apparent to you pretty quickly because Carla's going to see that the OneDrive files are missing. And that's probably
Actually, the
something.
OneDrive file should be there because it pulls as much as the old profile as it can find and then creates what it needs.
Well, I was wondering about that. I'm suspecting when it creates a temporary profile, it would be pulling as much over as it possibly can, and that's why the desktop looked pretty normal, didn't it, Steve? The icons on the desktop looked pretty normal, but the profile was way small compared to what her profile normally is. So it did not pull over the OneDrive files. I don't know if you're watching at the time, Gary, but we did look to see that the OneDrive and the temp folder was empty.
Then it probably, yeah, but it would try to probably, if you left it, well, no, it won't try to join them because that takes, OneDrive actually takes a higher than local user profile for security. It's in the background, you don't see it.
Yeah, agreed.
It's just like the Windows Update.
Yeah.
You actually can go into group policy if you're using Pro and set it to more than every 22 hours, but the system defaults to every 22 hours based on your last update. It checks every 22 hours continuously.
Checks every 22 hours for what?
Updates automatically, unless you shut it off.
Updates for Windows?
Yep, and Office, all Microsoft products. If you have
software updates. You're not saying OneDrive synchronization.
No.
Okay,
I meant Windows.
Okay, got it.
So that's automatic. But you only get the issue when you went to update. So if you didn't update for 3 days, that's when you couldn't update the temp profile, but you could download the update to the software distribution folders.
Now, as far as that update for the one that was having trouble, this one that I'm bringing up on screen now, this is it, isn't it? The 34441, and where it did actually install successfully at this point.
Yeah, but prior to that, it kept failing.
Yeah, prior to that, it kept failing, and I'm deducing that Microsoft probably made adjustments, and then it eventually succeeded.
Or did you go change the partitions and do it manually?
Steve, did you change partition sizes on this computer?
Yeah.
You did?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So that's what got it to install as you fixed the partition.
It went from, I made it go from 520 meg to 800 and some odd meg.
Did you have to make the Windows partition smaller?
I had to make the Windows partition smaller by 250 meg.
That may have caused your issue with Carla's account. You know, something Windows didn't recognize. Not everybody, but hey, it's Tuesday. Who knows?
Did you use some third-party partition tool, or did you do it within
Mini tool?
All right.
Or you might have had a programmer like me that used to put things on IBM mid-range platters when nobody knew they did.
Yeah.
If you bought our software.
So here I'm showing his recovery partition. It's at 831 megabytes. All right.
He's got a big one.
Well, he increased the size to that.
I was being facetious.
Oh, all right.
Mine is not that big. We had no problems with Windows 11. I'm not just saying that. I mean, and they're all, you know.
Well, Windows 11 won't go on this one. It's a 7th gen Intel.
I wasn't selling it. It just seems like they made it. When you create a Windows 11, all of ours are around the 600 to 700 range. Yeah. A lot of the Windows 10s are around the 300 to 400.
Yeah. So your recovery partitions were all large enough so you didn't have that trouble. Got it.
From the first day, yeah.
All right. Randy Israel, mine's bigger, and that's all I'm going to say about that.
Exactly. There you go, Rand. And actually, for the what was it, 4011? I mean, I didn't have the issue, but way back, I had made a statement. I think it was Brian Lightfoot, that you have to have a recovery partition in Windows 11 and by ergo Windows 10.
Yeah.
I just to prove that I was right, made a backup and deleted my Windows 11 recovery partition.
Yeah.
This was months ago, and the system ran fine. Well, my granddaughter, who does IT for our home business, not for my job, she deleted the recovery partition. The update will install with no recovery partition, but it won't with a too small recovery partition.
Wait a minute. You said the update will install when there is no recovery partition?
Correct.
That's interesting.
But it will not install with too small of a partition. And she wasted about 4 hours proving that for no reason.
Well, that would make me wonder if that update somehow has coding within it to, like, if there's no recovery partition, then skip to end.
Or just don't update it and keep going.
Yeah. So the update is present. It shows that it installed, but it actually didn't do any work because the vulnerability can't exist if there is no recovery partition.
No, the error of needing the size of recovery partition. In other words, it said no recovery partition, install the update to the system, but not the recovery partition.
Yeah, okay. One dog asking what size is recovery standard for Windows 11. And I got the impression that they were fairly consistent depending upon where your Windows 11 installation was coming from. Meaning if you install from scratch on a custom built computer, I think they'll be consistent from one computer to another. But the recovery partition size coming from a major name manufacturer, I think will be consistent for their computers, but might be different than a fresh install of Windows.
Well, there's actually, if you have, I mean, I know this from experience. So this is, the recovery partition that Microsoft was talking about last month, and that I'm talking about, is the Microsoft Windows recovery partition. Dell will have where you can reload possibly all the Dell bloatware. That's recovery the system back to store-bought brand, not recovery of Windows.
Yeah, no, my impression, and I'm saying this from previous explorations to find it, is I think that is that content for restoring to factory condition is actually on the C drive rather than in the recovery partition.
Right. There's actually some places say number 2 recovery partition.
Yeah.
So there's actually 2. One you get into usually with F3, and one you get into because you don't want to pay through Windows crashing 4 times.
Here's an interesting comment, Rand Israel. You can delete the recovery partition and place winre.wim in drive C. Okay. Is there any reason to do that? Then he says the recovery partition, unless there's an actually recovery image there, is only useful if you need to access encrypted volumes using WinRE. Oh, all right. Well, I'm not gonna. I think I want to walk away with a win.
Well, as far as I'm concerned, it's a win.
Yeah. All right. I would not mind ending a little bit early today if we don't have other topics to talk about. Good to have you drop in, Gary.
Yep.
And Steve, thank you for the opportunity to work on this.
Well, thank you.
Okay. Any last questions or discussions in chat before I shut down? I have not read all the chat messages. I'm not.
Remember to delete the temp.
Delete the temp. We did, didn't we? I think we did delete the temp. Go double check that. Delete the temp folder, and there's no actual temp username to delete. Close things down here.
Well, did he get the last update to run? Just wasn't there an update dying after the corrupt profile?
Well, his updates are current as of this morning with no failures.
Okay.
So, Zivi said he noticed another temp folder in the root of drive C.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll go look at that. Temp folder in the root. Oh, this one. Yeah, it's got a file in there, log file in there from June 6th, uninstall items. I think that temp folder is there for some other reason. I don't think it's related to this issue at all, but it is.
That one's off the root.
Yeah, that's what Ranner Zavi was asking about. Yeah, temp folder in the root of the C. Essential for system operation. Yeah, leave it be. I think Windows will wind up recreating that as it needs it.
I think that's created by an ancillary program. I don't think that's Windows.
I'm agreeing with you in this case. In other Windows and or other programs, I've seen temp folders exist, and even individuals will create them. So if we go in here and look at this, we can see this was Office. This was created by Office. It looks like.
Actually, that's a Seiko file, so it's probably the Epson printer.
Where do you see Seiko?
About the 20th line down, 15th.
Okay. Yeah, well, I just saw Office at the top, but there's other things in here too. Software Epson. Mac Memory flagged.
Probably looking at, I don't know what that would be. Everything.
There's an Epson. There's Zoom. Yeah, lots of software in here. Uninstall items.log. Were you using any kind of utility program for cleanup?
No.
Yeah. Personally, without knowing where it came from, and it's so tiny, personally, I would just ignore it and leave it. I don't care what you do with it. Matthew Kemp saying, I'm not sure if this was mentioned already, but wouldn't reagent C enable command will rebuild recovery partition after being expanded to the correct size, and reagent C/info to confirm. That sounds like that's on that issue about that update that we were having trouble with weeks ago. I don't know about that, and my mind is ready to step away from computer stuff. So let's do that, eh? I'll ask you all to go ahead and say goodbye to the audience, and we'll shut down.
Goodbye.
Good luck.
Bye, everybody.
All right. Thank you again, everyone, for participating, shutting down Zoom and shutting down stream. And Sam Lazar just joined. Just in time to say goodbye.
Good night.
Sam. Have a good weekend, everybody. Goodbye.